In this video, I'm going to sort 10 million numbers in 6 different programming languages to see which one is the fastest. The languages I'll be using are Python, Java, C++, JavaScript, Rust, and Go. All the numbers are randomly generated and each one is between 0 and 50 million. Now I did have to use AI to generate the code for each language, and that's because I've never really used some of the languages here like Rust or Go before, and I wanted to make sure there wasn't any bias towards the languages I'm familiar with like Java or Python. Now I don't really like using AI for coding, but I thought for a simple algorithm like sorting, it wouldn't be a problem. I did 3 tests for each language and I'll be showing the final results and sharing some of my thoughts at the end of the video. Now let's get on with the testing. Okay, so these are the average results for each language. And as you can see, Rust is the winner by a huge margin, which is a bit surprising to me, if I'm being honest. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now, if you're new to programming, you might be wondering why is there even a difference in speed in the first place? I mean, if these languages are doing the same thing on the same machine, shouldn't they take the same amount of time? To answer that question, you need to understand that these languages, like Python and JavaScript, are what's known as high-level languages, unlike C++ and Rust, for example, which are low-level languages. And what that means essentially is that when you write something in C++, it's almost directly executed by the CPU without going through a lot of layers between your code and the machine. But in Python, for example, your code goes through several layers of protection and conversions before it reaches the CPU. And those layers take a lot of time, especially when they add up together. But on the other hand, Python is really secure and it's really easy to use. So you're basically sacrificing the ease of use for performance. Because in C++, for example, you need to worry about things like memory management and security, and any bug you might leave in your code can cause really big problems. Now let's go back to the results of our testing. And just to understand how these languages sort numbers, they are all essentially using one variant or another of the quicksort algorithm, which is a pretty well-known and recommended sorting algorithm. Now I personally thought C++ would be the winner because I was thinking it's the lowest level language in this list, and although Rust is a low-level language as well, it turned out that it's using a version of quicksort called pattern-defeating quicksort, which is known to be super fast. And all of this made me curious on how the languages would perform if the same standard quicksort algorithm was used instead of using the default sorting method for each language. So I asked ChatGPT to write the standard quicksort algorithm in each one of these languages, and I redid all the tests again, and this is how it went. Okay, so these are the results for the second test. I guess it's clear how close the speeds are now, which makes sense because all of these languages are using basically the same code. But I guess Rust is still the winner, even though C++ came really close. And I did run some extra tests to see if C++ would catch up to Rust, but the results were essentially the same. You might notice that JavaScript took a huge increase in performance for some reason. I don't know what kind of default sorting algorithm it had, but it's clearly not that good. Now you might notice that Python is not in this list, and that's because for some mysterious reason, it took a whole 42 seconds for it to finish. Now my first thought was that the quicksort algorithm that ChatGPT generated might not have been the best, But no, I searched for it and it was exactly the same algorithm line by line as the one used in the popular website Geeks for Geeks. Anyway, if you wanna check out the code I used in this video, I will leave a link for it below in the description, with also the text file that has all the 10 million numbers. And if you made it this far into the video, I would really appreciate it if you leave a comment below with your thoughts on this video, and if you can subscribe if it's not too much to ask. Thank you for watching.